Hi, my name's Dan Hawes from Graduate Recruitment Bureau. When was the last time you had an opportunity to spend quality time with a group of university students? I'm talking beyond a careers fair or another university event, but where you've actually sat down face to face with a university student and come away really understanding their mindset. Well, I'm delighted to announce the launch of a new monthly podcast called Student Diaries. Every month, I'll be interviewing 3 Sussex University students, one in their first year, one in their second year, and one in their final year. I'll be finding out exactly what it's like to be a university student in 2019. We'll be talking about their project work, how they're building their CV, what's going on in their day-to-day lives, to really understand their behaviours, their attitudes, their goals, and ultimately their mindset. I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions you'd like me to ask them, please drop me a line. Thank you.
So I'm Sarah, and I'm in my first year of studying undergraduate psychology with neuroscience.
Excellent. Thanks for coming along today and explaining a little bit about what you've been up to at Sussex University. Recruiters are going to be really interested in what you're up to as a first year, first time you've been at university, getting stuck into your degree mainly, but lots of other things and opportunities that you could take advantage of whilst you're at Sussex University. So what have you been up to in the last month?
So the last month, now we're 5 weeks in, has just been everything excluding freshers. So it's been a nice sort of slow burn into lectures, with my first week being just a few welcoming bits and bobs here and there, but we've had our first proper 2-hour-long seminar with chatting with postdocs about really interesting bits about like how the spinal curve in humans changes during pregnancy and how you can compare that to chimps to show we're bipedal or not and things like that. And now getting into no longer just covering A-level topics, but at a super basic level to bring everyone up to speed, but understanding new concepts and being faced with deadlines which, albeit are not until 6 months or 6 weeks away, but being told that we're going to be writing assessments and having to do citation practice and getting into the swing of writing extended articles in a scientific manner that isn't just throwing together a few ideas and hoping for the best. But alongside that, finally getting into doing sports again, because I took a year out, so I tried to stay fit and healthy, but it wasn't as easy as having a gym just next door.
Sure.
So after psychology on Tuesdays, me and my friends go to do Zumba Strong, and it's quite fun, meet new faces and do like boxercise to do self-defense at the same time. It's just really good fun. Yeah. But I think it's really easy to get swept up in doing everything possible. Like my second and third week here, I realized I was doing 2 or 3 social things every day of the week.
Right.
And now that we've got into the 4th week, I'm managing to sort of spread things out across and not be so excitable about everything available.
Well, yeah, right. Well, it is an exciting time. Freshers Week is pretty chaotic. Lots of societies offering you the opportunity to get involved with a sport or something you maybe had never considered before. So you've taken advantage of that. You've now got your timetable so you can plan things around your studies. Is there anything you're doing to complement your studies while you're at Sussex?
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks back I had my job interviews and I managed to get all the jobs I wanted.
Great.
But I've gone with one company that's has a local Brighton branch, so I can work in care like I do at home to keep my training up, but also supplement my loans and living costs with that. So I'll be able to travel around and help families and elderly individuals in their homes while working the hours I need, because it's bank work. So I can do night shifts on days where I know my lecture the next morning isn't until 11 o'clock. Or I can do things over the weekend where pay's a bit higher and I can work really hard during the week so I don't have to do studying during that time. But I think the best thing about having my timetable not just given to me, but also this almost the same every week, is that I can go to weekly events like meditation on Wednesday evening, so it breaks up the week and makes things just a little bit less stressful when you're always aware that you could be studying or you should be studying. So you know you have time to sit down and make a bit of money for yourself on the side and buy that nice whatever you've seen in the shops recently, or just go out for a nice meal with friends. It's kind of grounding.
Yes, absolutely. You've got a bit of freedom while you're at university, and not just earning some money along the way, but it also is going to add to your CV from what you're doing with Interserve. Have you found your friends are in a similar situation? Are they working? Do they need to work? Or
I think definitely everyone in my flat at least have been looking at other ways to make money in.
yeah,
Kind of, there's not a single night where you don't have the comment of like, but just pasta for tonight, got to keep to my student budget.
yeah,
But it's difficult. Because for me, I'm in a sort of grey area between being too rich to apply for lots of government support, but being too poor to be able to get by really easily.
right.
So for me, it's imperative I work, because otherwise I can't afford the accommodation that the university's given me, and also buy food and pay for being able to travel home and things like that. So it's a little bit frustrating, but then I see my friends having to apply for grants and not have the security of knowing that their hard work will pay off.
Sure.
So you can apply for things like the Desmond Tutu grant, or for the first generation scholar grants.
Okay.
So you get money for who you are and what you're doing, but applying for those requires a lot of pressure on yourself. But if you're applying for a job, it's much more easier to say, well, obviously I just don't fit the role, I haven't had enough experience, I can work towards that. So I think there's a give and take, whether it's better that you have to work or that you have to rely on others to get you through university.
Great. Okay. And you've had a busy month by the sounds of it. The first month at university usually is. Hopefully the next month will be a bit more settled. Do you have anything that you're thinking about next month that you need to do?
Other than having a great Halloween.
Yep.
I'm hoping to travel up to Oxford to see some friends up there.
Okay.
And hopefully do my first shift with the Night Owls, which is the student union, not officially student union run, but sort of on the side supported with and organised by students for students.
Right.
Nighttime support group, I suppose. So we go out every Wednesday on student nights and go around in a little trio to make sure that individuals are safe, and we set up stalls in local nightclubs to advertise who we are, so people are aware that there are other students around that are sober, trained, and happy to help them in times of crisis. So that'll be really exciting.
Yeah.
And finishing my first day training for that, and getting to know the care packages that I'll be working with Interserve. So I'll get to know the clients, their families, what it is that they're looking for in a carer, so I can best help myself fit their needs, so they can have hopefully a fairly cheerful student come and tidy their house and help keep their medications in check.
Be a good experience, no doubt. And do you have any thoughts or a message you would give to recruiters, just based on your experience at university so far?
I think it would be, don't underestimate first year students. I've been looking at what I can do graduate wise or just placement wise, because I have the option to finish my degree in 3 years or 4 years if I do a placement year.
Okay.
And it's been quite hard to find things that are applicable to me, because everything's aimed at third years, and there's a big gap in information for how to get to where they want you to be in third year.
Yeah.
So like I've been emailing some local Brighton marketing businesses and business psychology organisations and small corporations to say, here's my CV, I'm interested in this area, I'm a first year, I know you don't take me on, but do you have any pointers in what I can do to get to where you want me to be in my final year? But I think making that information available makes you seem like a really welcoming business that's forward looking and knows that if someone wants to get something, they can get it, but in a way that isn't really obstructive and frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of recruiters will come on campus mainly for career fairs or events, but they're heavily skewed towards final years. But first and second years, as we're going to find out through this series, are just as receptive and interested in hearing from recruiters as well. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Hi, today I'm with Tor. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm in my second year at Sussex studying psychology, and I've had an interesting start to the year as shortly before returning to uni for the second year, I decided to fall down the stairs and break my neck.
Right.
So I am now in a wheelchair, and I've recently come back to campus. So before coming back to campus, I was doing lectures from home. So Sussex offers a really good service, which means that you can watch your lectures. So if you can't make it to a lecture, you can just watch it from home. It does, however, mean that you can't ask questions, but the information's there. And if you don't take it in the first time round, you can always watch it the second time round.
Good. So you had a different start to this year, but you have still been able to keep up to date with what's been going on at university. But you're now back at the campus. So what have you been up to in the last month?
In the last month, I've been trying to keep on top of my deadlines. So it appears that we've had absolutely no deadlines in the past month, and now they're all fast approaching.
Right.
They decide to put them in within 2 or 3 days of each other for all 4 modules, each of them being 1,500 to 2,000 word essays or lab reports. They involve doing experiments or taking part in experiments and writing lots of critical analysis and kind of exploring why previous studies have worked or not worked.
Right, so you're really having to manage your time effectively.
Yeah.
So you're getting your head down, concentrating on your projects, obviously. And then you've got an eye on applying for placements as well, I believe.
Yes, on top of the 4 modules, we've also got to apply for a placement. So if you're doing a placement year, you usually apply from basically year 12 or year 13 when you've done your A-levels.
Okay.
So it's been quite far in advance, and that might explain why we have to apply practically right now. So I've already had one of my deadlines for Great Ormond Street Hospital, and that was in October. The next deadlines are kind of November, December, and the very latest deadlines are January.
Okay.
It seems quite far in advance because the placement won't start until September.
I see.
We've been told that in order to be in good stead for getting a placement, you should get a first.
Right.
Which is quite stressful. So I did manage to get a first in my first year.
Excellent.
So that made me quite happy. But it seems strange because people don't actually tell you what you need to get a placement, and every company is different. So for the hospitals and the kind of the clinical side, in order to go into clinical psychology, the deadlines are far in advance and they want to know what grades you've got, what modules you're studying. Whereas more kind of traditional business like marketing or product distribution, they are kind of they seem to be more relaxed.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether or not that's because psychology, like clinical psychology, is competitive, or if it's because there are more placements open to kind of job, like just that kind of normal work.
So these companies are not exclusively working with Sussex University students, presumably. So you're competing against all other students across the country?
Yes, for Great Ormond Street, it's for everyone in the country.
Okay.
Whereas for the local Sussex partnership, it's only the kind of south unis. So then that kind of limits it to 60 unis instead of the 300.
Okay, so how many applications have you made?
I've made one for Great Ormond Street and one for Sussex.
Yeah.
And then I've got to make some more soon for kind of more charity work, so like addiction and prospective placements.
Okay.
So prospective placements are one where someone hasn't actually advertised that they've got a placement,
Yeah.
but you kind of email them or send them a letter hoping that they might be able to offer you a placement.
Speculative application.
Yes.
Okay.
So that again opens up another can of worms, because the uni haven't done any health and safety things, they haven't checked it. You have to make your own application, you have to check it with the uni, with your module convener, and make sure that the employer are happy to take you for a year.
Right.
So I'm hoping to do a speculative application with the NSPCC.
Yeah.
So they have a lighthouse project,
Yeah.
which is based in Camden,
Mm-hmm.
and it is designed to be a multidisciplinary team where you've got psychologists, social workers, teachers, police officers, and kind of everything needed, so that when a young person reports a sexual assault,
Yeah.
they can come to one place instead of having to go to 10 different places.
How are your friends finding the application process? Are they finding it equally challenging and a lot of pressure to get something arranged with a year to go before you actually start? How are they finding it?
Some of my friends are finding it quite relaxed, because if they're doing like a minor with advertising or marketing,
Yeah.
they don't have to apply until literally June or July in order to start in August. So they really haven't thought about it.
Right.
But then my friends who are then looking at educational psychology, they're having to apply for schools. And again, schools are really strange, because some schools want to literally plan 1, 2, 3 years in advance even.
Yeah.
Whereas other schools are kind of like, well, no, we can't accommodate you. We don't know what we're doing until the end of term, till the end of the year. So I think that might be more stressful for some of them,
Right.
because they literally don't know when they can apply.
Right. Okay. And are you having any help with applying to these companies? What sources of information are you using? How are you putting yourself in the strongest position?
We've got a careers fair,
Yeah.
which is open to everyone, and we've got a careers hub.
Yeah.
So we can go there, and they've also got an online system where they advertise placements.
Okay.
We're also offered a kind of mini seminar. One of them is like how to secure your placement, and another one is your guide to searching for placements.
Okay. Are they well attended?
I think that you're only allowed about 10 to 15 people per session,
Right.
and they're run by the library, but they fill up very, very quickly.
Sure. So will you use this placement experience not just to build your skill set for 12 months in the working environment, but also potentially with an eye to joining them when you graduate? How far are you looking ahead with your relationship with this placement employer?
Well, I personally have a 10-year plan.
Right.
So, because I want to do clinical psychology, which is a doctorate.
Yeah,
So I'll be Dr. Tor, hopefully by the end.
I see.
But it involves 4-year degree, and then usually in order to get onto a clinical placement, kind of which is 3 years in length, it varies from place to place. So Canterbury says you need 2 years experience, whereas Royal Holloway says you need 4 years experience, and I think Sussex says you need 1 year experience. So hopefully with the placement year, I've got some experience, and then maybe I'll be able to do another bit of experience, maybe in a different area. So Great Ormond Street have got so many different areas. You've got psychological services. You could go into eating disorders, or you could go into epilepsy or neurodevelopment. So somewhere like there, if you got your foot in the door, you could literally go anywhere.
Wow. So what planted the seed when you were younger to take this career path?
It sounds cheesy, but I did just enjoy talking to people. I wanted to do medicine, but you had to have biology and chemistry at A level,
Yeah,
and I missed a significant amount of school, so I wasn't well enough to do it.
right.
But I don't regret it. I love psychology, and I think psychology is better because I love the biological side and the maths side.
Right.
And you can with psychology, you can choose to investigate the neurons or you could choose to investigate children or social. Whereas medicine, you've got to do the heart, you've got to do bones, everything.
Right, okay, good. Wow, well, you're very focused, and obviously this course is going to provide you with a lot of the qualifications you need. And increasingly students are taking placement years or internships to add to their skill set, which is very important in the eyes of employers, of course. And you're making the most of your time here. Now you're in your second year, you know the ropes, and you're getting involved in other activities, I imagine, that Sussex can provide you. Have you got any examples?
Yes, so last year I was part of the Archery Society.
Okay.
And I've joined again this year.
Yeah.
They offer wheelchair archery,
Yeah.
which is very cool.
Yeah.
And I'm on the committee for the Mental Health Project,
Right.
which is a new society.
I see.
I'm the finance person and the LEAF coordinator. So Sussex has a LEAF scheme, which is designed to make sure that the society is basically running like a business.
Oh, I see.
So I think it's quite good practice, and I really, really enjoy it.
Excellent. Good. All right. That's been really informative. We'd love to find out what you've been up to next month. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name's Ella. I study international relations and I'm in my final year.
Okay, Ella. So you're in your final year. Everything counts right now. So we're very interested to know what you've been up to in the last month.
Yes, exactly. So we're in week 4 of term. So I've had 4 weeks of study and it's gone heavy from the get-go. So unlike the last 2 years, which kind of like lets you meander your way into your studies, this has gone fast and quick from the start. So
Sure.
I've had 2 presentations already, which count to my final grade, and they're just starting to prep us ready for our short and long essays. So lots of information from all angles, but it's good. It's kind of nice. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm on track rather than just sort of bumbling around, which is good.
Good.
But yes, other than uni, I am the president of the badminton team.
Okay.
So I've been playing badminton since I was 7. So naturally I joined, this like the first thing I did when I
Yeah.
came to uni, which is nice. Last year I was the captain, this year I'm the president. So a little bit more responsibility. So we've had Freshers Fair, which we organised, and then the trials for the team,
All right.
which went really well. We had 150 people for 30 places on the team. So it was a big decision and a difficult decision, which I didn't realise I'd have the responsibility to make.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice. We chose a really good group of 30 people. We had our first match today,
Yep.
which was successful. So that's
Mhm.
nice. Yes, and then obviously badminton being quite important, I also joined the county team. So I'm playing for Sussex and for uni. So
Right.
that takes up a large amount of time, probably more than it should.
Yeah.
But I assume in the next few weeks the badminton might have to be pulled back a little bit more as the essays start to flow.
Sure.
But most of my time so far has been taken up with that. It's
Good.
And jobs.
Ah, right.
The most important thing. I have started applying for jobs. I've applied for 4 so far, all graduate schemes,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 of which I had already decided I was definitely applying for. I was really keen, and the 4th was due to a talk that I'd seen last year.
Okay.
So the university, so I'm a first generation scholar,
Yeah.
so the university puts on lots of different events, and first generation scholars seem to get bombarded with the most information, which is a good thing. I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know before, lots of different talks and how to approach potential employers, which is really good. And one of these talks sort of swayed my mind on applying for this job, because I didn't realise that it was a lot broader than just London.
Ah,
So yes, I've started to branch out. I'd quite like to not work in London,
right.
or not forever.
Mm-hmm.
So quite a few graduate jobs started to catch my eye from these talks and events because they weren't in London.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yeah.
So you've zoned in on 4
Mhm.
recruiters who, at this time of year, will be opening their applications for their schemes.
Yes.
So that's great. You're being very proactive.
Yes, I'm trying.
Yeah, it's all important to get ahead of the game. Yes. And ideally not in London. Now that's interesting because traditionally all roads lead to London for graduates, obviously attracted by the very high salaries, but increasingly the cost of living is putting a lot of people off, which I imagine is one of your major concerns there.
Yeah, massively. Like I was in the newer scheme of payment for uni, so I've been paying £9,000 a year, and I'll come out of university with an average of about £50,000 worth of debt.
Right.
I don't want to then continue to snowball and have a massive amount of debt just to live in London. So plus I'm northern, so I don't love London in that kind of way that perhaps other people do. So if a company is offering multiple roles in multiple locations, then I'm much more likely to go down that avenue than to another job that perhaps is just based in London.
So you've got your wish list for the ideal graduate job. Now you said you went to a talk and that kind of confirmed a lot of what you already thought about this particular company or the kind of job. Has there been anything else that has influenced your choice of those 4?
I think as well, especially in the third year, a lot of academic advising takes place. So the tutors and your personal mentor always try really hard to point you in the right direction with websites and things they might have experienced that you could then try. So yeah, I've had a lot of information given to me, but I do think the talks are probably the best way of absorbing information because they're delivered mostly by people who actually have done that role.
Okay.
So I feel like if they're a previous graduate, they can come from the same mindset of you when they were in my position, and give you the information that you perhaps want, but you wouldn't ask a potential employer.
Yeah, maybe a bit different, say, seeing them at a careers fair, you actually have an opportunity to really find out a little bit more from someone who's actually doing the job.
Yeah, definitely.
So, wow, first 4 weeks, you're hitting the ground running, busy studying, busy playing sport, so healthy body, healthy mind, which is all important. So you're on your game. So looking ahead to the next month, what activities have you got on the horizon?
So in terms of jobs, I have applied to 4 and my goal is to apply to 10.
Yeah.
But I'd like to apply to 10 that I would really like to do, not just for the sake of applying. So if I get to 8 and I feel like I've hit my limit, these are 8 jobs I'm really passionate about, then I'll stick at 8. But the goal is to go for 10. So I've got 6 more applications to submit, plus fingers crossed I get through the rounds of the others. So I think that'll be really busy with all the tests they ask of you and interviews. Fingers crossed I get that far. So on the job front, I've got 6 to go.
Sure.
In terms of sport, I've applied to be an ambassador for a Sussex-based campaign called This Sussex Girl Can. So it's about getting women and girls involved in sport that perhaps wouldn't want to participate because they don't feel like they're good enough or they don't have anyone to go with. So I really would like to get that role because obviously I've been playing sport for so long. It'd be really nice to share the passion with other people. So fingers crossed that all goes ahead too.
Sure.
I feel like this next month's balancing a lot on things that could happen and couldn't happen, but we'll go for the positive outlook that happens. So I'll be quite busy with that. And my family are coming to visit, so that'll be really nice. Yep. And university, I have deadlines. So
of course
they have given me 2 deadlines. So in your final year, you have less modules. So I have 2 modules this term and then my dissertation. So for each of the modules, I have a short essay and then a long essay to write. So in the next month, I'll have to write those. So I think collectively it's about 10,000 words worth of writing, so quite a lot. And then my dissertation, which is 15,000 words, but I have to just write a proposal. So
Okay.
you write the proposal before Christmas, and then after Christmas, you mostly write your dissertation. So I have that proposal as well. So
Right.
lots of writing.
Yeah.
But that's
Wow.
okay. I don't mind writing essays, but you need a lot of brain power for it. So I think
Sure.
it's sort of, we started slow and then we're going for the home straight before
Yeah.
Christmas on the essay
Good.
writing.
Got it all mapped out. Sounds great.
I think so.
And especially now you've applied for 4 jobs and you're going to be applying for more
Mhm.
to hit your target of 10. Is there anything you'd like to say to recruiters about the process so far that you've experienced?
Yeah, I think my main point is, please don't make it difficult for us. Not in the sense that I don't want to put the effort in to write a good application, in the sense that not all students spend their time sleeping and partying. So the limited time that I have, I want to spend it writing a good piece of why I want that job, not disseminating my CV into multiple drop-down boxes.
Yeah.
So it would be really nice to fill in an application that you can just upload your CV and then give the reason why you'd like this role, and that be it, rather than having to tick loads of boxes. Because I think the longer winded these application processes are,
Yeah.
the less likely people are going to apply, because sometimes they take 4 or 5 hours, and to do that 10 times over is it's a whole week's work just to apply for jobs.
Yeah. So it's the repetitive nature of doing the same thing.
Yeah, and I
over
think
and
that's
over,
why
yeah.
a lot of people give up halfway through jobs. So I'm happy to be, I'm more likely to be selective on what I choose,
Right.
rather than just sending out loads because they take so long to complete. So if an employer presented you with an application process that was a little bit more precise,
Right.
with less tick boxes and less repeating yourself, I think a lot more people would apply.
Good. That's really useful. Thank you very much, Ella.
No problem.
We'll look forward to checking in with you next month.
I hope you agree this was a great start to our Student Diaries podcast, giving you an insight into 3 Sussex University students' lives. Please tune in next month and find out a little bit more. Thank you.